For those of you that have been watching my channel for quite a while, right? If you've been watching my channel for quite a while, you would know that I am obsessed. I am completely obsessed with the 1960s black and white Twilight Zone TV shows. I am obsessed with that. That's one of my top three favorite TV shows of all times. You know why? Because I can relate to those shows. The Twilight Zone series, a lot of them, they have twists and turns at the end, right? A lot of those TV shows, most people, they cannot relate to those shows. But I could relate to that. I can relate to the black and white 1960s Twilight Zone shows that was produced by Rod Serling. I can relate to those shows. And when I watch these shows, right? When I watch the black and white Twilight Zone shows, I feel so sane. I feel normal by watching these shows because my everyday life makes no fucking sense. Excuse my French. But my everyday life makes no sense. I was born in a cult, the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, where it should be crystal clear more now than ever that this is a cult. In the year 2024, every Jehovah's Witness should know that this is a cult. This is not the true religion. This is a religion, a cult that is run by men. By men. So when I watch black and white TV shows like the Twilight Zone, like the Outer Limits, I feel more sane mentally. I feel sane. Because I say to myself, oh, it's not me. It's just not me. A lot of these Twilight Zone shows, right? Most people would not be able to comprehend these shows because most people have normal lives. But people who are born in a cult, like Jehovah's Witnesses, like Mormons, like Scientology, right? All these cults, people who are in these cults, they don't live normal lives. Now, I can't speak for Mormons and people who are in the Scientologist cult, right? The Scientology cult. I can't speak for them, but I can speak for people in the Jehovah's Witness cult, people who are born and raised in this cult. We don't have normal lives. When we grow up, right? When we grow up and we see this cult for what it is, 9 times out of 10, we are in our late 20s, our 30s, our 40s, and we are exploring the world for the very first time, right? But the majority of us who has been born and raised in this religion, we got baptized at a young age in our teenage years. We had to devote our entire life to this organization, to this cult. So now we realize in our late 20s, our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, that this is not the true religion. And now we want to become our true, authentic selves, right? But going back to the Twilight Zone, I was watching a episode earlier, right? Season 3, episode 8. Yeah, season 3, episode 8, titled, It's a Good Life. It's a good life. It's about this boy, this 6-year-old boy who has special powers, right? And the town that he lives in, these people consider him a so-called monster. Because this 6-year-old boy, he has the ability to do whatever he wants to do. And on top of that, if people disagree with him, right? the people in that town, if they happen to disagree with him, he can make them vanish like that. He could put them on fire like that. Anything that he thinks about, he can do. All he has to do is think about it, and he can make it happen like that. And he has the power, he has the ability to read people's minds. So when he looks at you, you better have good thoughts. You better have positive thoughts about this kid. Because if you don't, if you have any negative thoughts about this kid, he will light your ass on fire and he will make you disappear like that. Once again, the episode is season 3 of the 1960s black and white Twilight Zone episode, right? Season 3, episode 8, titled, It's a Good Life. And this so-called 6-year-old boy, he is supposedly a monster in these people's eyes, right? All these people who live in this town, he is considered to be a monster. Because if you don't agree with him, if you have negative thoughts about him, if you don't like him, he can sense that just by looking at you. And he will make your ass disappear like that. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar as an ex-witness? As an ex-witness, we all know you have to agree with the governing body leaders. You have to abide by their rules, their doctrines. You have to play by their games. You have to abide to the elders. And if you fail to comply, guess what happens? Just like Anthony and the Twilight Zone episode, It's a Good Life, season 3, episode 8. Just like Anthony, if you don't abide by those rules, the governing body leaders, they will make your ass disappear like that. You don't believe in us? Oh, you're an apostate. You are an apostate if you do not agree with us. Oh, you want to disassociate? Go ahead. You could disassociate, but guess what? Your Jehovah's Witness family and friends, they will no longer talk to you because they belong to us. They belong to us 9 members, us governing body leaders. Once again, if you fail to comply with our rules, we will make you disappear like that. So I'm watching this episode. It's a Good Life. Title, It's a Good Life. Season 3, episode 8. And this boy, everyone in this town, they're scared of him. You have grown adults. You have grown adults scared of a 6-year-old boy. Grown adults in their 30s, 40s, scared of a 6-year-old boy because they know he has all this power. He has so much power. All he has to do is look at you, look your way. He can read your mind. If you're thinking any negative thoughts about him, your ass is done. You either lit on fire or he's gonna make you disappear. One way or another, you're done. I'm watching this episode. I'm like, whoa, shit. This sounds exactly like the governing body leaders. You are either with them or against them. There's no in between. You can't be neutral. You can't be neutral. You can't say, you know what? Yeah, I'm a baptized publisher, but I don't believe in what the governing body leaders are saying. And at the same time, keep your Jehovah's Witness family and friends. You can't do that. You either with them 100%, or you disagree with what they say, and you end up losing your Jehovah's Witness family and friends like I did. So I'm watching this episode, I said to myself, wow, this sounds exactly like the governing body leaders. Because the minute these people, in this Twilight Zone episode, right? These grown adults, they're trembling. They're scared of this 6-year-old boy because he had all these powers. He could make them disappear like that. So the minute they approached him, they had all this positive thoughts about him. But little do we know, they had to have these thoughts, because if they had any negative thoughts about him, right? If these people had any negative thoughts about this kid, this 6-year-old boy, he could read their minds and he would make them disappear. Or he would set them on fire, right? Either way, they would be gone with, either way. And I'm saying to myself, wow, that sounds exactly like the governing body leaders. Because the minute you voice your opinion, the minute you say, oh, I don't believe that these governing body leaders, that these men are, they're not God's spokesmen. No, this is not it. This is not the truth. The minute you say anything negative about this religion, people will shun you. Just like I've been shunned. And I will never forget, about 10 months ago, I came out as full-blown apostate. About 10 months ago, right? Now, 1 minute people are they'll welcome me back because I was reinstated. Oh, welcome back. I love you. Welcome back to Jehovah's organization. Blah, 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 right? But I will never forget what my aunt said to me. Both my aunt and my mom. They said to me, oh, if you're going to disassociate, then you know we can no longer talk to you. And I wanted to tell them, where is that in the Bible? If someone wants to depart from a religion, you could leave the Catholics. You could leave the Baptist religion, right? You could leave certain religions and you could still have your family. But when it comes to cults like the Mormons, when it comes to cults like Jehovah's Witnesses, once you say, you know what, I wash my hands, I don't believe in this nonsense. I don't believe that these men are God's spokesmen. Your Jehovah's Witness family and friends, they want to make you disappear. Just like this boy, this 6-year-old Anthony kid in the Twilight Zone. Once you looked his way and you thought anything negative about him, he made you disappear. So now I have my aunt and my mom telling me, oh, you just got reinstated. We don't know why you want to disassociate. But if you do disassociate, we need to tell you we can no longer talk to you. And I was hoping that they pondered about that. I was hoping they asked themselves, hey, how come we can't talk to him anymore just because he doesn't want to be a part of this religion? Where is that in the Bible? I wanted to say that to them. Where is that in the Bible? And if you can't find it in the Bible, if you can't find a passage in the Bible where people could leave and disassociate from the religion and they have to be shunned by their family, if you can't find that in the Bible, then guess what? That means that you are serving men. You are no longer serving God. You are serving men. Because nowhere in the Bible does it say that once you disassociate from your religion, that your family and Jehovah's Witness friends have to shun you. You won't find it in the Bible at all. That's all man-made bullshit. That's all man-made. So once again, I'm watching this episode. Season 3, episode 8. It's a good life. And most witnesses will say, oh, serving Jehovah, it's a good life. We love this life. This is the best life ever. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because as a Jehovah's Witness, you have to continuously lie to yourself day in and day out. You have to keep praying, keep going out in service. You have to keep convincing yourself that this is the truth. And mind you, a Jehovah's Witness has no sufficient proof that this is the truth. So therefore, they have to keep the lie up. They have to keep running on that hamster wheel. They have to keep lying to themselves. This is the truth. It's a good life. It's a good life. But is it really? If your leaders keep telling you, we're not inspired by God, if your leaders keep flip-flopping their doctrines, if they tell you that, hey, service is mandatory 1 minute, and the next minute they tell you, check a box. If you go out in service, just check a box. Is that really the best life ever? Since I've woken up from this religion, I realized that this religion does so much gaslighting to the members. No one should ever have to waste their entire life waiting for a pipe dream that's never going to happen. And if you are Jehovah's Witness watching this, I encourage you to do your research outside of jw.org. And if you're watching this video, that means you already have doubts. You are already curious. You already know that, listen, paradise may never come. You might already know that you have been duped. All this time you wasted going to the meetings, preparing for the meetings, going out in service, all for nothing. For nothing. But let's bring it back to the Twilight Zone episode. Season 3, episode 8. It's a Good Life. All these people, this 6-year-old boy, he installed so much fear. He installed so much fear in these people. These people were in the 30s, 40s, 50s. And they were trembling when they saw him. Because they knew that he could read their minds and their hearts. He could read their minds. If they thought anything negative about them, if these people thought anything negative about him, he could make them disappear like this. And that is exactly how it is with the governing body leaders. You say anything negative about the cult or Jehovah's Witnesses, the governing body leaders will call you an apostate, and they will take away your family and friends. And here I am. I say, you know what? Take them away. Take them. Because when you give in, when you decide to be a PMO, and you give in to your Jehovah's Witness friends and family members, when you say, I'm going to keep my mouth shut just so I can have my family and friends, guess what? The governing body leaders, they win. Because they know that, they say to themselves, you know what? We own your family and friends. We own them. And we know that you know that this is not the truth. But you better keep your mouth shut. Because if you open your mouth up, we're gonna take away your family and friends from you. We're gonna take them away. Me, I said to myself, you know what? All my people who love me for me, all my real family and friends, if they truly love me for me, they're going to say that I have nothing to lie about. I have nothing to lie about. If they want to side with the governing body leaders, even though these men tell them we're not inspired by God, we are infallible, we get it wrong. If they want to take the side of the governing body leaders, then that tells me that my family, my blood family, my mom, my 2 brothers, my Jehovah's Witness friends I know for 15, 20 plus years, all these people, that means that they are not my people. But one thing I will never do is be fake. I will never be fake. I will never be fake. I will always tell people the truth about the truth at any cost. And it's sad that I had to lose family and friends, so-called friends, because I was honest with them. But it's sad that this religion, this cult really is like a Twilight Zone episode. Because people would rather listen to a lie. Jehovah's Witnesses, they would rather waste their entire lives waiting for a pipe dream paradise that's never going to happen. They would rather do that than listen to their own family and friends that's telling them, listen, this is not the truth. We know that you think that this is the truth, but take my word. Do your research. This is not the truth. But you know what? No, Jehovah's Witnesses, they would rather listen to these 9 men that would never be at their funerals. These 9 men that would never help them out financially. These 9 men that would never really be there for them when they are down and out. They will listen to these 9 men in upstate New York, but they won't even listen to their own family and friends that know them personally. It don't get more Twilight Zone than that. It don't get more Twilight Zone than that. When you have people that know you on a personal level, but you say, oh, I'm not going to listen to you. Apostate lies. But I'm going to listen to these 9 men that claim they are inspired. That claim that they are God's spokesmen. Even though they say we're not inspired by God. We are infallible. We get it wrong. We make mistakes. But Jehovah's Witnesses, at the end of the day, they will listen to these 9 men that they don't even know on a personal level. But they will neglect their family and friends that's telling them, guys, do your research. I love you. Do your research on this religion. Oh no, I don't want to do my I don't want to do my research. No. I want to listen to these 9 men. I want to waste my entire life. I want to devote my entire life to these 9 men. I'm going to patiently wait and run on this hamster wheel for the rest of my life because I have so much faith in these 9 men. I have so much faith in these 9 men, even though I cannot prove that they are God's chosen people. I can't prove it. So I'm going to waste my entire life away. It don't get more Twilight Zone than that. It don't get more Twilight Zone than that when you have millions of people around the world that blindly put their faith in 9 men that tell them, we're not even inspired by God. We're not even inspired by God. Make that make sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. But I was watching this episode earlier, right? This Twilight Zone episode, and I said, wow. And it's titled, It's a Good Life. And it's only titled that because all these people, they were so fearful of this 6-year-old boy. They had to convince themselves that this is a good life. That this boy has all the answers. Because if they had any negative thoughts, if they addressed these negative thoughts, that 6-year-old boy, he would kill them on the spot. He would kill them in a heartbeat. And that is exactly how it is when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses. If you disagree with them, they will label you as an apostate, and these people will be so quick to shun your ass. But it's time for Jehovah's Witnesses to really think about the long term. Are you going to keep serving men? Are you going to keep lying to yourself and telling yourself, oh, paradise is right around the corner? You're going to waste the rest of your life waiting for a pipe dream that's never going to happen? Or are you going to finally do your research and see this organization for what it really is? The choice is up to you.